Hey everybody, Frank, what's up? How you doing? Hey, it's Tuesday, November 20th? 20th? Nah, my bad, 19th. I don't know what day it is anymore. Anyway, don't have anything exciting to really talk about today. However, I'll let you kind of know what's going on. So guess what? Yesterday I noticed that my furnace, underneath it, there's water. What? Like, this is something you would think, like, in the summertime, like AC, condensing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, apparently I had to do a little digging on the old YouTube to kind of understand what's going on. And I think I know what's going on. So there's a couple places. I did take a look. Yeah, there's definitely water. It's not a ton, but there's a couple spots. I kind of looked at there's a condensation drain hose, or there's a couple of them in there. They don't look plugged up or anything, because where it's kind of leaking from. Looking over the YouTube stuff, it looks like there's like this cover. It's like a drip pan, if you will, but it's like on the side. So I think a drip pan would be more horizontal to the ground. Well, anyway, people have been noticing there's like a gasket around there. It just either dries up over time, or it cracks, or there's a crack in the damn casing. And so I wasn't able to take all that stuff out. But Frank's got a. Well, Frank's going to. Maybe this kind of gets into the subject of kind of today's video, since I didn't really have anything. So I'll kind of tell you some. I do a lot of home repairs, DIY. I do car repairs. Yeah, and this all didn't happen overnight. So but having a little bit of engineering background, but really, to be honest, I give most of my credit to my dad. My dad's kind of thinking was, hey, how hard can it be? So he got himself into a lot of trouble as things like that. Obviously, you want to, some people kind of get too scared about certain things, but in the same breath, you don't want to get too overconfident. I'm trying to remember offhand. I'm pretty sure I had a couple of things where I did something overconfident wise, but a lot of things you just have to kind of, you know, have a collected approach, do some research, especially nowadays with YouTube. It's kind of crazy. Like, sometimes I forget, like, hey, why don't you just go type a full sentence into YouTube. You'd be surprised what's there, right? So, yeah. I don't want to say it looks hard. It's just like I might have to find, like, where do I need this part? It looks like some people are getting away with silicone. But anyway, that to be said is that, kind of gets outside of your, maybe that's what we'll talk about. Kind of get outside of your comfort zone. You don't want to go too crazy, right? But in the same breath, you want to push yourself. And, I'm kind of like, hey, especially when it comes to your own stuff, like, you can always get someone there. And obviously, if it's way over your head, getting professional help, probably the most prudent thing to do. But like something like this, perhaps, right? It might take me some time, and I might learn it. And yeah, all right, it's kind of my first time, but it's like anything. The more times you do it, So if you want to grow, right, we always gotta kind of get outside of our comfort zone. And again, Frank will take his own his own advice, his own medicine sometimes. I just wasn't looking forward to this. I didn't think I'd be having to do this, so it is what it is. Just another setback in life. But yeah, so just so that you all know, right? As a little kid, you spend time with your dad, and your dad's like, "Hey, hold the flashlight." At least that's how my dad was. And I'm not holding it right. I'm pretty sure he wasn't having a lot of fun, right? So, not that he was like taking it out on me, right? But you're a kid, you're trying to learn. So, but what I learned from my dad, and what I like to tell you is, test that boundary. Kind of get outside of your comfort zone, like I said earlier, and try. I mean, you always start off small. Try something that hey, if the best thing to do is, like, if you find something that you know if you fail, it's not like that the end of the world, or it's going to be like, oh, it's a bigger problem, right? You just want to, kind of like do no harm, right? Like, but yeah. So I encourage you to kind of get outside of your comfort zone, whatever that can be, right? Meeting new people. Gosh, I probably should take that one too. But then again, people are kind of crazy nowadays. But yeah, if you guys have anything, like, hey Frank, how do you do this? Hey, put. Hang on, I gotta put my. I can't. There we go. It's kind of hard to see since I'm looking right at the camera here. But yeah, like I said, I've done a lot of car work. I've taken on things in the last couple of years to do it. But some of this stuff I've just learned, like I said, from my friends, my dad. Kind of that. Hey, let's tackle it, right? It might take a while, but let's do it. I've done a lot of things. Like I installed, an AC. Like I mean, like the whole darn thing. when I moved into my first house, it didn't have air conditioning. It had an old furnace, and actually, in retrospect, I should have replaced both the furnace and the AC, but I only had limited funds, right? So, I learned by someone saying, "Oh yeah, there's this company, and you can buy these, DYA kits to put AC in," right? So, to be honest, I think I got way in over my head, but I spent a bunch of time. It was like if I wasn't working, I was working on that. And I'm telling you, man, if I wouldn't do it again. Again, I would have done it with replacing the AC. It would have been a lot easier. I had to do I had to redo some of the duct work. That was probably more of a pain than anything. But yeah, I had the compressor unit that's outside. Had the lines. I didn't quite burn it or solder, whatever. You have to use like high heat, right? I ended up like just almost like soldering it. And I didn't braze it properly, although it wasn't leaking or anything like that. But so I did have someone come in here and pressure. You had to like use all these tools. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. But when it comes to my car, I've saved so much money, especially nowadays. Like again, you got to be careful. You got to have all the safety precautions. But like on my one car, I had to do the fuel lines this spring. But I've done tons of things on the brakes, suspension. I can't do alignments because I don't have a special tool to that. But yeah. So anyway, kind of branch out. Maybe something that you're interested in, or hey, like for me, a lot of this stuff happened when I was going to college, and it was just like I had no money, and I had like no one to quote unquote help me out. So a lot of these things I just did it, right? And most of the things that I did came out successful. Maybe I wasn't able to do it in the time frame that I wanted, but I was able to do it, right? And back then you kind of had to either know someone or find, But nowadays with YouTube, again, you still gotta, it's better to watch multiple videos. At least I've seen that. I want to get as much as I can, so that when I do it, I only have to do it once, right? Or if I mess up, I don't make it worse, right? So yeah, with that said, hopefully you guys are doing good today. And again, you got any topics, let me know. And again, branch out and get outside your comfort zone. With that, see you tomorrow. Bye.